Hi, welcome to episode 1 of Ostrich's Biggest Money Mistakes, where each week we have a new guest who walks through their biggest financial regret. Our aim is to have a bit of fun with it, but also to help you guys out there avoid making the same mistakes in the future. I'm Andrew Holliday.
And I'm William Glass. We are the co-founders of Ostrich. And so our guest today is Scott Aaron, a marketing consultant and business owner based just outside of Philadelphia in Marlton, New Jersey.
Now, just before we get started, remember, if you have a money mistake that you would like to share, we'd be happy to offer you a free public therapy session, just like the one that Scott's about to go through.
Complimentary, no charge.
Please get in touch with us. The details on how to do that are at the end of this video.
Now, Scott, over to you.
The dumbest money mistake that I've ever made. I invested $8,000 in a virtual funnel course that was 12 hours long that I got 30 minutes through. And what I realized was I had started to make some money, and I was kind of doing some blind spending, as you know, as sometimes when you start making more money, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And I learned from my mistake. I was not careful about where my money was being invested into. It's not that I don't believe in funnels, but I was not in a place in my business where that was going to serve me. But it also did teach me the lesson of what I was requiring at that time, which was something much different. And I don't regret that money that I spent, because again, investments, sometimes they make you money, sometimes they don't. That investment didn't make me any money, but it did make me money in a different way. It taught me a lesson, which you can't really put a monetary value on, because like I said earlier, you have to kind of learn from those mistakes and those bad investments, so it can show you what the good investment is. So that was early on, that was probably one of the stupidest investments I ever made.
Scott, thanks so much for sharing. You may not be able to put a dollar amount to the lesson that you've learned, but you know what we're going to do.
This is exactly what we're going to do. So Scott paid $8,000 for that course. If he'd have invested that $8,000 in the S&P 500, it would be worth 225% more today. Or in dollar numbers, that is
$17,995.
Scott.
Yeah. Or if we want to break it down by the minute, since he only made it 30 minutes to the course, that would be $600 per minute.
Well, having heard that, how can we go about avoiding a $600 a minute mistake? Well, that's something I want to know.
Yeah, the first thing is think about the bigger picture. So before you have an influx of money, what would you do with it? If you had more money today, how would you spend it? How would it serve your overall goals? And so that enables you, when you do have that influx of money, you're less likely to end up in that lifestyle creep that Scott did.
Right, you've got a direction that you want to go in. It's good to have that. And the other thing is, just kind of, from a higher level, if you're paying more than your monthly rent for one thing, it's probably worth double checking and doing your research into that purchase. Just make sure that it's exactly what you're expecting. You don't want to get taken for a ride on something that's that expensive.
Absolutely. Well, to participate in our Biggest Money Mistakes campaign, you can email us at bmm@getostrich.com or send us a direct message on your favorite social media platform.
This has been an episode of Ostrich's Biggest Money Mistakes. We will see you next time.
See you next time.